Okay, I'm gonna try this. But the cats today are helping me a lot. So I'm not sure how this is gonna work out. I might have to get up a few times. I have Sally on my lap currently, so, you know, if any, like, ears pop into frame or anything, that's what's happening there. See, this is why I have problems, because, I mean, like Phoebe said that you try to like watch the video right before you plan to make your own video. That way that it's like all fresh in your mind, with no interruptions in between. I also tried to do that, but cats. So I just made notes and then I immediately was interrupted by cats, and I had this whole like break where I had to go out to the other room. There was a whole thing, and like it's just not working for me today. So okay, I do have notes. I made notes. I will try to get through them and hope that I know what I was talking about. I do like that you have like a dedicated notebook for, you know, video notes now. Like that's good. I have just like you know, like a legal pad, like one of the small yellow tablets that I use for just like random scrap paper essentially. And so I tend to put all of my video notes like on one page until I run out of room, and so then I'll have just like blocks of notes from different videos all over the same page, and I cross them out as I finish them off. So I get pages like this where there's just blocks of things crossed off, and they're all videos. So let me see. What have I got here? I did enjoy the sort of whatever trapezoid around my name. It's a very good rectangle. So let me think. What exactly was I going to say about all of this stuff now? I remember the topics. The question is like, do I remember what I was going to say about them? You were talking about aphantasia and like drawing and stuff, and like I can't really I can't picture things clearly. I can get kind of a very fuzzy sort of thing. Occasionally, if I have like just seen something, like if I just had it in front of me, I can like sometimes kind of picture it briefly and then it's gone again. So like if I've just seen someone, I might be able to picture their face. If there's someone that I know really, really well, like my mom, I might be able to picture their face very briefly, but like it won't. Are you coming up here? Oh, thank you for bouncing everything. Hang on, I gotta go shut the door. So that's about the limit of my my being able to visualize things in my head skills. I really am not good at it. As far as drawing goes, like I have not. I mean, I have never practiced drawing. Can you not bounce so much, please? I have never really been. Stop! You have to get down. You're making everything wobble. I know. I'm sorry. Sorry. So I am not a drawer, in any sense of the word, but I did take that one drawing class, and so I discovered that we had a textbook for the class, which was Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty someone. Not Betty Friedan, that's the only name that I'm getting. I can't remember what the woman's last name was. But anyway, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And I did actually find it really helpful for like recontextualizing the way that I was looking at what drawing was and how to do it. It was extremely helpful. My drawing skills did improve greatly, but I can only draw something if I'm looking directly at it. I cannot picture anything at all. Like I realize that artists use reference pictures and stuff all the time. Like I realize that's normal, but like I can't draw anything unless it's right there in front of me for me to like copy, essentially. If it requires me to visualize anything in my head, useless. I can't do that. I also had problems. Hi, Squeaker. I also had problems when I was taking the drawing class, in that he used to make us draw stuff out the window, because there was like a big, essentially like a big plate glass window. We were on the second floor of the building, and there was like essentially this huge like section of the wall that was just glass. And so he would make us draw like, you know, landscape things and stuff to practice. And I used to run into problems because I'm nearsighted, and even with my contacts in, I wore contacts then, even with my contacts in, like, I sometimes could not draw things as clearly as he wanted me to, and he would be like, well, like, there was one drawing in particular that, there were some trees and stuff in the background and some buildings and whatever, and, like, he kept saying, well, put more detail in the trees, and I was like, I cannot see them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I cannot put more detail in the trees because I cannot see more detail in the trees. That is what the trees look like to me. I realize that they're very fuzzy, but, like, that's all I got. That is what I can see. And we went some rounds about that, and he finally got through to him that, like, I was not deliberately not drawing the detail, like, that I really could not see what he could see. So yeah, that was an experience. But that's the only, like, drawing experience that I have. I don't really draw a lot at all, and have never really done a lot of drawing. Like, I used to doodle and stuff sometimes as a kid, but, like, I've never been really into drawing, so I never made any real effort in that area. So probably the last time I seriously drew anything was when I was taking that class. So, like, 20 years ago. So let me see, what else am I supposed to be talking about here? I have gotten distracted. I definitely would like to see, if you were going to make some kind of a tour video, I would definitely enjoy that. I like those too. Like, it's fun to see people's contexts, and, like, I don't know, I just like to see what is around you. And so, yes, I would support that, anybody making tour videos. I continue to think, like, vaguely one of these days I will do that, and then I never do, partly because I never leave my house. You were talking about your hair, and I was thinking how, like, we always come back to hair on this channel, which is very funny because, like, I don't, like, think about my hair that much, really, but, like, somehow I always end up talking about it on the channel every so often. I really do need to do something with my hair. It is a problem. But I don't know what, because, like, I just don't know what to do with it. Which is why it always ends up like this, because this is what happens when I don't do anything with it. It just ends up getting longer and longer, and I never do anything with it at all. I think the last time that I had my hair cut was in, like, 2015. But again, I don't leave my house, so it doesn't really matter. You guys are the only ones who ever see me, so that's like, not that important. Getting my hair cut is not that important. I can't remember what I was going to say about this. I have written on here about, you were talking about, like, creativity, in relation to, like, the drawing and stuff, and then, like, also in relation to writing. And I was going to say something about it, but I have forgotten what that was. I'm glad that your fanfic that you wrote is doing well. It's nice when something that you have worked on, like, something that you have expended some effort for, gets some kind of acknowledgement from other people. Like, that's very fulfilling. So, like, I'm glad that worked out. Sometimes even if it's something small, it just really gives you a nice, like, boost. So I'm glad that is happening. I'm not very, can you all just stop? Can you park it somewhere? Stop going back and forth. I'm not very, like, knowledgeable. Like, I was just thinking about yesterday about how, like, I know very little about fan fiction. Excuse me, sir. I am talking. Like, I was thinking about how little I understand about, like, like, fan fiction has, like, this very extensive vocabulary and, like a whole jargon unto itself. And I only understand little bits of it because it's not really, like, something that I spend a lot of time with. And so somebody on my feed was talking about fan fiction somehow, and so I started thinking about, like, how little I understand when people talk about it generally. But yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I don't think that, like, not being able to draw means that you're, like, a less creative person. I think creativity comes out lots of different ways, and it doesn't have to be necessarily art either. I think there are lots of different ways to be a creative person. I don't really do any of those because I basically spend all my time just kind of sitting in one spot, and also dealing with cats. I have to be creative in my ways of dealing with cats, I guess. Yeah. What else have I got here? Oh, you're asking about my computer. It's my poor little laptop. It's not that old, like, and that is part of the reason that I was so, like, what is happening, because, like, it was fine. Like, it was completely fine, and then all of a sudden it just started being really weird. And it kept getting worse and worse and worse really quickly, and so, like, it got to the point where I nothing would work. I couldn't do anything. It would take so long for anything to execute, and it turned out to be a specific program, and I had to completely uninstall it. So now I've got to figure out what to do about that. But otherwise, like, it is currently, knock on wood, it is currently, like, doing okay. So, I don't know. It's very frustrating. Computers in general are extremely frustrating. What else have I got on here? Oh, you were talking about my timer. Yeah, it's just like a regular, like, kitchen timer. It is this timer, which is, like, literally 22, 23 years old, 22 years old, I think. It has lost the battery thing, the like, little window thing that goes over the battery. So I have to tape the battery in place so it doesn't fall out. And you can see how old it is by how, like, discolored the plastic is. Yeah, I have to use timers for everything because my memory is so messed up at this point, that I can't, like, if I want to make a pot of tea, right, I will put the kettle on, and in the time it takes, I can't, like, just stand in there and wait for the kettle to boil because I have to sit down because I can't, stand up for a long period of time. And by a long period of time, I mean several minutes. There's not really anywhere to sit in there. So normally I will, like, turn it on because I'm using, like, a stovetop burner instead of an electric kettle. I should probably go back to using the electric kettle, but there's a whole thing. Anyway, so I'm using the stovetop kettle. I'm, like, turning it on. It takes, like, around 10 minutes to boil, like 9 or 10 minutes to boil. So I will normally come back in here. But in the space of time that it takes me to walk from the kitchen to here, I will forget that I have turned it on. And then, like, an hour later, I will wander into the kitchen to get tea and be like, oh no. So I normally will set the timer. Like, I will, like, I have the timer in here, and then I will, like, turn the kettle on, and then I will come back in here and set the timer for, like, 8 minutes or something. And then when it goes off, I'll go back in the kitchen, and then I'll do whatever. And I do this for any kind of like anything that I'm doing that requires me to come back to it in like even a few minutes. Like sometimes even like 2 or 3 minutes. I will set the timer anyway because I know that I will forget, and if something doesn't happen to remind me, I will just like not. The problem is that occasionally in the time it takes me to walk from the kitchen to here, I will forget to set the timer. That is a problem also. But yeah, so yes, I have timers everywhere. I have timers set on my phone for other stuff. I have a lot of like alarms and stuff set on my phone. But mostly I use a lot of like timers for things all the time. Because if I don't, the thing does not happen. Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to film. I know, it's very hard. Poor boy. Hold on, I gotta scoot back. You'll fall off if I do that. Okay. So what else? Oh, I'm very sorry about your grandmother. And I hope that everything went okay, It's hard to have like a trip like that because it's very, it's not cheerful. It makes everything very difficult. You have to like deal with everybody else being, also sad and grief stricken, and so it's really rough. So I hope that, everything went okay, all things considered. Sorry that your airfare was so incredibly ridiculous. I generally kind of feel like travel expenses are often just generally ridiculous. You're talking about like people not having grandparents. Like I was kind of like that. Like hey, Eric, buddy, she doesn't like it when you do that. Quit crowding her. You know better. Eric loves Min very much, and he wants to like cuddle with her, and she does not want to cuddle with anyone ever except me. I know. I'm sorry. She doesn't like it though. Grandparents. So yeah. So like let me think. Okay, my dad's mom and my mom's dad both died when my parents were kids. So I had one grandparent on each side, and then I had a step-grandparent on each side. My dad's family are a no. We will put it that way. On my mom's side, like my grandmother didn't live here until I was like 9 or 10. And so we spent time together like after she moved back here. And she died when I was 22. And my grandpa, my step-grandfather, but my grandpa, he also did not live here. They didn't live together. They had to because he traveled a lot for work, so there was like a whole thing where they were in separate states for part of the time. Like, I mean, it was a whole thing, but yeah. So like, I was not super close to any of my grandparents, but I was like more close to my mom's mom. We spent a fair amount of time together, like when I was in high school and stuff, like middle school and high school. I don't have I don't have a ton of cousins on my mom's side. Like, there's some extended relatives, but I don't know any of them really, because my mom doesn't is not super close to her relatives. I do have a couple of cousins. She has an older half brother, and he has a couple of kids, but I'm not close to them. And my dad is one of 7, plus he has some step siblings. Sorry, cats again. And so there are some cousins on that side, but again, my dad's family is a no. We do not with them, which is better for everyone involved. So like I am not really I used to know them a little better. Like we used to get together occasionally when I was a kid, but not since I was little. In fact, I legendarily once ran into a cousin of mine in a store. She was working in the store. She was the cashier, and I did not recognize her at all. Like, I mean, totally did not realize that she was not a complete stranger, and she was like really mad about it. And I genuinely had no idea who she was, and I looked at her name tag because she was like, "Don't you recognize me?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "I'm your cousin." And so then she was like really mad that I didn't recognize her. But to be fair, I had not seen her in like a really long time, like probably a decade or something. And the last time I had seen her, she was, you know, in like middle school, maybe not even middle school. So like, you know, I'm sorry, but like I hadn't seen her in a long time. Like I didn't recognize her. Not my fault. I have looked basically exactly the same forever, so, like, you know, like, I don't change a lot. I have continued with this same hairstyle forever, like I said. So, everybody always recognizes me, and I often do not recognize people because they have changed. So they're angry. I'm sorry. What else have I got in here? I keep getting distracted, and this is such a long video. Oh, you were talking about travel, right? The solo travel thing. I think that's great. I mean, travel in general at this current moment in the world is, you know, a thing. But like as a concept, I think solo travel is neat and fine. Like, I mean, you know, I can see why like people might not enjoy it. But I think, like, as a general concept, I think it's good. Like, it's fun to go and do stuff on your own sometimes, and, like, you know, it means you can do whatever you want, and you don't have to, like, you know, work around someone else's, like, schedule or someone else's, like, idea of what they might want to do. You can just kind of do whatever, like, floats your boat, and I mean, I think that's good. The Grand Canyon would be cool. I have been to the Grand Canyon, but not since I was like 5. So I have been there. I do vaguely remember it, but not very well. It is indeed extremely large and very deep. My main memory is of like looking down into the canyon and just being like the river being so small because it is so far away, and being completely still because it's so far away that you can't really see the motion of the water, or at least in that particular part of the canyon, you know, where I was standing. And that is my main like memory of it, like image memory. But, you know, again, visual imagery not that great. Excuse me. This is what my life is like all day long. I just get up and let cats in and out. So anyway, so like my visual memory is not, you know, because I can't visualize, but like that's what I remember primarily. The river being extremely small and still. I have gotten so distracted now, I have no idea what I was talking about. And also, we're at like almost 25 minutes, so I should probably stop talking. I think I've gone through everything that was on my list. I don't know. I hope so. I have gotten fatally distracted at this point. I don't think I can get it back. So, right. So, this is very, I feel like we've gotten sort of chaotic here towards the end. I love you all very much, and I'm sorry this kind of got away from me again. I feel like you probably just expect that at this point. So I love you all. I'm glad that we got to do the call this weekend. That was really fun. And I would like to do it again soon. So I will see you all next week, I hope. Don't forget to be awesome.